All right, hello everyone, and welcome to week 1 of our lower body strength and conditioning session, the last session of the week. So you're nice and warm, so you already completed that pre-recorded warm-up. Now we are going to get you started on our strength exercises, and then we have a nice spicy conditioning circuit to finish you off. For equipment today, we are switching it up a little bit. We're going to need our usual stuff. Tucked over here, I have my 8-pound dumbbells, loop bands, I have my sliding towel, as well as I have a little stool here that I'm going to be using for some step-ups. Now, of course, I have options for those of you who don't have a slider, who don't have a stool, maybe you don't even have dumbbells. That's all okay. We're going to talk about ways you can do these exercises without them, if you don't have them. But if you do, we're going to use them, and we're going to grab them if we need to. So, let's get you started with our first movement. We're following a theme today, as you've probably noticed we are following all week, which is our pauses. Today we're going to be working with a pause single leg deadlift. What we want as well is some space on the floor to also work with our slider hamstring curl. So if you're like me and you're kind of short on space, you might want to create some, like I'm going to, by folding up my mat like this so that I have some room to slide on the floor. So let's start off with this deadlift. We are going to be doing 10 reps on each side, preferably holding all the weight on one side. So I've stacked both my dumbbells up, my 8-pounders, holding them over here. I'm going to be standing on that opposite leg, soft knee. We're hinging our hips back down to the bottom, holding here for 1, 2, 3 seconds before we drive up to the top. That's 1 rep. We're doing 10 of those. So again, 1, 2, 3 seconds at the bottom. We'll do that on this side, and then we will switch. Nice strong arm that's not holding the weight. We should feel this in the back of the hips, the glutes, especially with that nice, honest, as usual, 3-second pause on those ones there. So that's going to be our first movement. Second one, which we're going to go into right away, is our slider hamstring curl. Now, again, for those of us who don't have a slider, or maybe you just don't have a floor that slides, we can always do our dumbbell hamstring curl, laying on our tummy, holding that dumbbell between our feet and pulling it up to 90 degrees. But if you have the slider, we are going to use it underneath our heels, hips up, straight legs. We can either pull in or we can relax our hips and work with that sort of lowering negative that we know, because we talk about it quite often. You're doing 15 reps down here. So we have 15 reps of this slider curl, and we shall take some rest. Once we're finished that hamstring curl, we're going to take 30 to 45 seconds of rest before we complete 3 more rounds of these 2. Okay, you know what to do. Press pause, and I'll see you back here for part 2. All right, welcome back, my friends. So we are back for part 2, which is going to incorporate our step, our stool, maybe a stair that you have in your house. You could use, a chair or something, as long as it is stable and it's not going to break and all that stuff. I'm choosing to use this little plastic stool right here. We are going to be working with a step up. Now, for the step up, we're doing all one leg, 10 step ups on one side, 10 reps, I should say, and then we'll switch and we'll do 10 on the other side. Now, this is not a new movement, although we haven't done step-ups in quite a while. So you can either choose to do it unloaded with just your body weight, or if you would like, you can hold weights down by your sides, dumbbells or 1 dumbbell down by your sides. But the most important thing here is making sure that we keep this a single leg movement, that we're not pushing up off the floor. So a little something that I like to incorporate is this Tippy Toe Technique, where we push up onto our toe like this, before we step up, which takes out all momentum. That really allows us to not essentially cheat as we go through our 10 and 10. So that's going to be our first movement. Second one is going to be a front-loaded, paused sumo squat. So I'm going to grab onto my weights, front-load them, widen up my feet into this sumo stance. We want wider than our normal squat stance, angle out in the toes, weights in front of us. We're going to sit down and hold here for 1, 2, 3 seconds before pushing up to the top. 10 reps is what we're looking for on this one here. So we'll work through these 2 movements, no rest. Okay, so once you finish your first set, finish those sumo squats, we're going right into our second, third, and fourth set. Little to no rest in between. Okay, so press pause, and I will see you back here for part 3, the last part of our strength. All right, here you are. Last part of the strength. We are going to be working with our slider reverse lunges. So I'm going to go ahead and move that out of the way. Again, we'll need some space on the floor here. We're going to be holding the weights down by our sides, having preferably a towel or a slider underneath that foot, sliding back into the lunge, pulling ourselves up to the top, working with 10 reps on each side. So we'll go through 10 on this side, 10 on the other. If you don't have a slider, you can simply step back into the lunge, pulling yourself up to the top. But that slider is nice because, again, it's going to help take out that back leg out of the picture and really allow us to keep this a single leg exercise. That is our first one. Second one, you're going to need to get your timer out because you are going to be holding a wall sit for 60 seconds. So you can time it on your phone, on your computer, on your iPad, whatever you got. Running clock in your house, doesn't matter. But we're going to hang out here for 1 minute of our lives, holding this wall sit, 90 degrees in the knees, hands away from the thighs. If we don't have a wall, if you just want to sit against your nice white wall in your house, you can always hold a squat hold instead. Same count, 60 seconds. For these two, we're going to complete 3 rounds total with no rest. So we'll finish that wall sit. Do a couple deep breaths, shake out the legs because they're going to be burning, and then we'll get going right into our second and our third set, the sliders, the wall sits. All right. Okay, my friends, that's it for the strength. So go get it done, and I'll catch you back here for the conditioning work. All right, everyone, welcome back. Here we are for the last part of the session. What we need is some space. So what I'm going to do is roll my mat, or flatten my mat back out rather, so that I have full access of it. Because we are done with the sliders. We also are done with our dumbbells. Yes, we don't need them. I had to double check. So we're going to go ahead and put those dumbbells away just so that they're not in our way. I'm not going to accidentally trip up on them. We are working with body weight. The only thing that we need here is our supportive footwear and a timer, which we're going to go ahead and set for 60 seconds on, 20 seconds off. We have 3 movements. We're doing 3 rounds. We are out of here. We are done for the day, for today, for the week. Sounds great. I know. We got to get this work done first. So 60 seconds on, 20 seconds off, 3 movements, starting off with this first one where we have options. 1 minute is going to be quite a long time to do this. We can either do high knees. We can do butt kick jog. We can do a combination of both. You can do high knees until you feel like you can't do them anymore. Butt kick jog. If you're low impact, we're just doing the low impact version of either of those for 1 whole minute. Once we're finished that, we have that 20 seconds of rest where we're going to, again, breathe, regroup, and get ourselves ready for the next one, which is a narrow to wide squat jump. So we're going to start in this narrow position, sit down into a squat, jump wide, jump narrow, jump wide, and narrow. That is us for our second movement, 1 minute as well. So again, we're going to have to pace ourselves as usual. Last and final one is a mountain climber. So we're headed down onto the floor, plank position, driving the knee up, and we're working with either quick knee drives or we can have a slower set knee drive because we are down there for 60 seconds. Shoelace tying optional. So that is going to be you for this last part, and that is it, my friends. Once you're finished that, again, 3 rounds, 60 on, 20 off, you are done. We have a stretch sesh at the bottom of this page. So once you're finished and once you've recovered and take some time to kind of cool down, breathe, get back to normal, we are going to complete that stretch sesh. So get it done. Good luck. Have fun. And I will see you guys next week.